Hi, welcome to Savi's Fashion Studio. This class is for absolute beginners in sewing. In this class I have shown how to finish a U neckline with bias strip of fabric. In fact, I have already taught this in one of our previous classes, but as it was within another class, some of you seem to have missed it and you have been asking what is the bias strip and how to finish the neckline with the bias strip. So here I am making a separate video on that. In this class you will also learn how to finish square neckline with straight strips of fabric. So let's start with the class. Assume this is the neckline of your dress and let me show you how to finish this neckline using a bias strip of fabric. We need bias strip of fabric because a straight strip of fabric would not be flexible enough to go in this curved shape. So to cut the bias strips, take the leftover fabric of your garment, but here I am taking a contrast fabric just for clear visibility. Now this is the straight grain and this is the cross grain of the fabric. We need a bias strip. To cut bias strip, just fold it in this way and crease this line or crease this fold. If you stretch here, it stretches like elastic, and this is what we need to go around the curved neckline. So we need to cut on this crease line. I've already shown in my previous video how to cut bias strips. Now from this cut strips of fabric around 1 inch. So mark 1 inch from the edge. I'll just remove this neckline. Now I've cut a bias strip of fabric. Now this strip of fabric may not be long enough to go around the neckline. So you need to cut another strip of fabric and then join it together to make it long enough to go around the neckline. You can just place the strip on the leftover fabric and cut exactly. Now to join these strips of fabric, place it in such a way that the grain lines match. That is, don't try to keep it equal. If you do that, after you stitch, when you open, it will not be equal, it will be distorted. So keep this a little below from the edge. So you should be getting 2 angles in both sides. And you will be sewing from corner of one angle to the other, that is from this point to this point. Once you have sewn this, when you open, you will get a long bias strip. If you find this confusing, let me show you another method. Just cut the edge straight of both the strips and then place it right on right in this way. That is, one strip is placed horizontal and the other is placed vertical. Now stitch from this corner to this corner in this way. So this is how I'll be stitching. So this is how I've stitched. Now just cut off the excess after the stitch and open. Now you have a long bias strip. Now open the seam and flatten it. Now it's ready to be used. Let me show you how to finish the neckline with this. Now assume this is the right side of your fabric. Place the bias strip facing right on right, aligning the edges together, and we'll be sewing it 1/4 inch in from the edge. Align the edge of the fabrics to the edge of the footer to get 1/4 inch seam. Make sure the edges are matching, and as you sew, do not stretch the bias strip. Just align the edges together and place your fingers on both layers of fabric to hold it firm. Do not stretch the bias strip. It's okay if you get ripples here in the bias strip. Sew on it. If you stretch the bias strip, this will start to gather and it will not give you a neat finish. Especially in this curve, when you try to align the edges together, you will get a big ripple here in the bias strip. Just push it down and break it into small ripples and sew over it. Do this slowly and neatly because Neckline is something which is very clearly visible when you wear the garment, and it has to be neat and nice. Cut off the excess fabric. Next step is give small slits using the tip of the trimmer or your fabric shears. Why we do this is to be able to turn this bias strip of fabric to the wrong side of the garment in a smooth and nice way. You're cutting only the fabric after the seam. Do not cut through the stitch. Now keep this extra 1/4 inch fabric and the leftover of the bias strip together in this way and flatten the seam all around. Now fold this extra fabric over the seam allowance this way and do a stitch just next to the seam line on the right side, that is on the bias strip. At this step, this is how it looks. Now turn to the wrong side and cut off all the extra fabric after the stitch. Now turn this bias strip to the wrong side and iron it. Just press with hot iron to hold it in place. And this is how your neckline should be, flat on the surface. If your neckline is not lying flat, that is if you have some ripples here or it's standing up like this, that means your neckline has stretched while sewing, or you might have stretched the bias strip. In one of our videos on how to fix a stretched neckline, we have shown how to rectify such problems. So this is how it looks on the wrong side. Now once this is done, you can do a hand hemming or you can do a stitch 1/4 inch in from the edge to hold this in place. This is the simplest way to finish a curved neckline using a bias strip. So you have learned how to finish a U, curved or round neckline with bias strip of fabric. Now let me show you how to finish a square neckline with strips of fabric. Now for this we needed a bias strip because it's curved, but for this, as these are straight lines, you just need straight strips of fabric. Now as this strip is not long enough to go all around the neckline, I've cut 2 straight strips of fabric and we'll need to join them together. Just place it right on right and sew at 1/4 inch and then open the seam. Flatten the seam. Now assume this is the right side of the fabric. Place right on right and we'll be sewing at 1/4 inch in from the edge. Make sure the edges are together. Before you reach the corner, just take a pin and place it in the angle, that is exactly in the corner, and fold this fabric and turn it to the other side. When you turn it to the other side, a pleat is formed, and that's fine. Just remove the pin now. So the pleat is formed here. Sew till there and stop with the needle inside. Keep the needle in, lift the footer and turn. Now continue sewing here. Again, before you reach the other angle or corner, keep the needle exactly at the corner and turn the strip of fabric to align with this edge and then remove the needle, and this is where the angle is formed. Keep the needle in, lift the footer and turn, then continue sewing. Trim off the excess fabric. Now the next step is to trim at these corners. You need to trim till the stitch but not through the stitch. With the tip of the shears or trimmer, carefully trim the corner. This is very important to get the corners correct. Now keep this extra fabric with the seam and crease it, and then fold it over to the wrong side. Stitch just next to the seam that is on the strip of fabric. Fold it all the way and stitch and stop here at the corner. Before reaching the corner or the angle, just turn to the wrong side and fold this fabric as well. So you should get a nice sharp corner here. Hold it and continue sewing. And when you come here, turn the fabric to the wrong side. That is, the square is in this way, but you're turning to the wrong side when you come to the corner. That way you can see the angle very clearly. Stop at the corner and then with the needle inside, turn the fabric. This is similar to what you have learned in one of our classes, that is how to finish an angle neckline, but that was done using fusible interfacing. This is done with just strip of fabric. Same method to be continued in the other corner. Before you reach the corner, just fold the fabric on the wrong side. First fold this fabric and then the other edge. So you get a nice sharp corner here. Now this is how it looks. It may look a little weird right now. Cut off all the excess fabric on the wrong side. Now turn the strip of fabric to the wrong side of the garment and iron it flat. So this is done, and this is how it looks on the right side, and this is how it is on the wrong side. You can do a hand hemming or you can do a stitch on the right side. So this is another method of finishing an angle neckline. So this is how it looks. With this method, if you find it difficult to finish the corners neatly, you can always use the facing method that is taught in our previous classes. The link is also given below. Thanks for watching this class, and also thank you for all the positive comments, as it keeps us going and keeps us motivated. For full-fledged online sewing classes and for pattern making tools, please visit our website servicefashionstudio.com. See you soon in the next class. Until then, happy sewing.